Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to discuss an important question from the poem Tintern Abbey. It is composed by William Wordsworth. Discuss three different stages in the development of Wordsworth's attitude to nature. This is the question. So let's start. Wordsworth was the poet priest of nature. To him, nature was not merely a mass of dead matters. The different objects of nature, the hills, the lakes, the plains, the rivers, the oceans, etc., are like human beings capable of feeling pleasure and pain. Wordsworth says, "'Tis my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes." Wordsworth has also been called a philosopher poet because of his philosophical pantheism. Nature's quiet loveliness, strangeness, her magnificence, and splendor had a particular appeal to his sensitive mind. In Tintern Abbey, Wordsworth traces the growth of his love of nature. The poem is particularly memorable as it contains the poet's own exposition of his changing attitude towards nature from his earliest days to the time he definitively formulated his creed. Myers has rightly regarded the poem as the consecrated formulary of the Wordsworthian faith. Nature seemed to have cast a spell upon Wordsworth even in his boyhood, when like a roe I bounded whenever nature led. But he was then not in a position to analyze the appeal of nature to his heart. In the first stage, we find his delight in the forms and colors of different objects of nature. He was not inclined to find in nature a deeper significance. In other words, nature was then to him an appetite, a feeling, and a love. In the opinion of Hudson, in the first stage, Wordsworth's love of nature was simply a healthy boy's delight in freedom and open air, which the poet calls the coarser pleasure of his boy's days and their glad animal movements. In the second stage, the poet has overgrown the coarser pleasures of his boy's days. Here find his conception of nature as a spiritual power. Sensuousness yielded to contemplation. The sorrows and sufferings of humanity are facts which he could not ignore, but he learned to read them as essential elements in the total scheme of the order which prevails in the world of man and nature. He has now learned to look on nature not as in the hour of thoughtless youth. He finds in nature the still sad music of humanity. He is no longer housed in a dream. His eyes have been trained by the spectacle of human sufferings. A deep distress had humanized his soul. Simply speaking, nature was no longer a mass of varied objects perceptible to senses. Rather, it was a spiritual entity, a living soul. In the third stage, Wordsworth sublimates nature. In plain language, he sees God manifested in and through every object of nature. Thus, nature is the guide and the guardian of his heart and the soul of his moral being. In this stage, nature is sublimated and he discovers in her the Spirit of God impelling all thinking things. Thus, nature came to have the first place in the relationship between man and nature. He saw man as a part of nature. In this stage, man and nature are harmonized. The poem clearly expresses the central creed of Wordsworth's faith. In the history of Wordsworth's poetic development, Tintern Abbey has a special significance because it marks definitely the different stages in his attitude to nature. It may be said that all that he wrote before it and all that he had written after it, including the prelude and excursion, have their sum and substance enshrined in Tintern Abbey. Thank you very much for watching this video. For more videos, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.